that. And
And I'm getting ill.
looks like we are recording. Okay.
We're in
So
the
this
basement.
is the January 27, 2021 meeting of the Inland Wetland Agency. David Scott is the chair. Office of Planning and Development Services are staffing tonight. So that's Bruce Lofgren, me, Deb Jones, and Linda Galetta. For folks in the audience, if you want to speak to the commission, you need to do it under public communications and you need to raise your virtual hand. Do that on an Apple device. You can find the hand at the top of the screen. On a PC, it's the bottom. On the phone, it is *9.
I guess not, huh?
All you, Dave.
All right. We have approval of the minutes of January 13th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of January 13th.
And you got the second.
I second.
Hey, there you go. All right.
Oh.
Any comments? We don't have our usual reader. I never see the errors, never.
Read them, but I don't look for errors.
Somebody said you read it backwards. I haven't tried that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 My Zoom disappeared.
We see you and we can hear you.
I don't know where it went. All right, well, you can hear me. That's all that's needed.
And we can see you.
And
Yep,
we can
you're good.
see. Yeah,
You can see me?
Yes.
totally.
Because I can't see anybody. All right, whatever. Okay, we have no new applications. And we have, Bruce, you have some comments on 0 High Street.
No, I don't have too much to update on 0 High Street. So at the last meeting, I know you guys, you mentioned that you'd like me to reach out to the applicant and remind him that, this was, our action that we told him to apply because, that slope is unstable and there's nearby wetlands and there's eroding into it. So I did remind him about the urgency to, get moving on this and don't let this application just expire and withdraw. He acknowledged that. I did get contacted by another engineer a few days ago who I think is getting assigned to the job. So it seems like we should be getting something in on that pretty soon. When I did talk to the engineer, he said, he should have a plan with us probably in February. So I think we're about to start working on it. So hopefully we have an update soon.
And the engineer is Ed Wenke, someone you're familiar with.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that was good news. So hopefully something comes out on that soon.
okay. 334 Long Hill Road.
Just now gotten revised plans, so I'm thinking it'll be ready for the next meeting.
Good, good. And 595 Long Hill Road, Noink Ledger Road, septic repair and 2-story addition, Bruce?
Yes, I believe the applicant is here. I think I see Richard Deschamps. He's the one that designed the septic system. So I'm going to promote him to panelist and maybe he can answer some of your questions about why the septic needs to be in that place and not further towards the road. So Richard, I just promoted you. I think, yeah, you are. You just need to unmute yourself and then you can introduce yourself and the project and go over anything you'd like with the agency.
You want to set a site walk for that?
Yeah, I think I would suggest that you guys classify it and set a site walk. One thing I do want to notice while Richard's getting ready, if he's there, is I did drive by the other day and I did notice that there was some clearing down there where the proposed septic system was going to be, right near the wetlands.
What was it? There's some what?
Clearing. So I'll show the plan.
Can you?
We can hear you.
Okay. It's set up for a webinar. It's not the typical Zoom I've done in the past. So
Yeah, we do a webinar so we
Buttons.
can record it. Yeah, we
Okay.
record it as a webinar, so. Yep.
as long as you can hear me. Okay.
And
The plan there, good, because I don't have the plan with me. I apologize, I'm away, so I'm actually away until Monday. But I was joining in because I was to understand there was a question over why it was where it was and it wasn't more up gradient.
Mhm.
And really, if we move that up gradient, it becomes a pump system, which then adds a pump chamber to the site, which if you can see on the side of the building where the approximate septic system is now, I believe they used 4 short trenches, which is just not, the longer the trench, the better, which is just not a good idea. And with the health code setbacks, when we were out here, Ledgelight and myself, we had picked the location it's in now as to get, the best gravity system we could get. And we couldn't go, if I could have moved that 5 feet up more up gradient and get this to work properly, I would have, to give you a little more separating distance. As when I talked to Bruce, mainly that entire backyard, except for that little corner, which is really brush, and then there's one tree, I believe, that they have to take down up in that corner. The soils weren't bad at all. We were surprised. They're pretty good. So we can put this into the ground such that you're only going to see about 8 or 10 inches of cover, and the filling of any kind would stop probably a few feet before where we show the silk fence up in that corner. The rest is just going to remain yard. I mean, the grading's going to be the same. So from the shed towards the yard, it's very minimal grading. It just keeps going because the edge of lawn is as depicted on that with the dotted line. We're not anywhere near where he's already using what he's using as a lawn. So the main thing where like I said, it's minimal considering the system that's in here. We were able to put it into the ground more. You should see 8 to 10 inches of cover, probably for about 10 feet, or blend in about 10 feet down gradient from the system, the breakout line. So, you're only going to see 8 or 10 inches within the first 5 feet, and then it's just going to slope off. When you look at that upper corner, if everyone's looking, towards the upper side of the map. But we just couldn't get it anymore. We started out with the test hole number 1 where it was, figuring if we had one there or a little more up gradient, we'd be fine. It just, grade-wise, anything past that, we'd have to go pump chamber, septic tank, and then the state code says we need to be 45 feet long. But with the GST, the 58 covers the house. So the 45 wouldn't have covered the house as far as what's required to have there. I hope that explains it enough. It just, we couldn't get it up further. Where the system is now, I'm actually surprised it lasted as long as it did, with the way that the system, the trenches are set up. They're just very short trenches. You get the gist of how they were built in the 60s and 70s. The code just didn't, it wasn't as stringent as it is now. As well as even if I could, there's no way to get a gravity system up there, but if I could, with the allowances that they would allow me at that point to be 10 feet instead of 15 from the property line, I still couldn't fit that system in there. Between tank, system, trench, it really was the only place to go. I'm not sure what else I can add other than that's really the only place we can put it. But you won't see any, obviously you're not going to see any filling of the wetlands, and it should blend in. I would say the blend from that system would be about 10 feet down gradient from that corner of the system where it matches in.
So do you want to site walk this, folks?
Yeah, because I mean, again, no offense to Richard Deschamps, but without someone pointing at all of this, Deb, so that was just
Yep.
not
Yeah,
helpful
I
to
wanna
me
see
at
it.
all. That was a
Yeah,
bunch of
I-
words just saying the reason I had to put it here was because I had to put it here.
Yeah,
So-
the reason is the grades. It's all about elevation. And if we move that up gradient anymore, it turns into a pump system, and I'm gonna struggle to put a system there, or a system that's not gonna last very long. I mean, it's really gonna work.
So the difference between 124 and 122 is too much? 2 feet?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm just making the system where it is now. If I could have moved that up another 6 inches, I would have, but it won't catch it. Anything over that will be a pump system.
Okay, well, hopefully in the field, we can have the map and some,
You should, I don't believe, I haven't been to the site in a little while, but you can see where it says existing shed to be removed.
yes,
Mhm.
Not sure if it has been removed. If it hasn't, that's gonna be the key point. You're gonna see the shed, and then you're gonna see, how it extends past the shed, and that would be the clearing, in that area. So it should be pretty easy to tell where you are with the trench.
When do you want to do the site walk? About, let's see, it's supposed to snow on Tuesday, Wednesday,
yeah, I heard that.
Monday, Tuesday. So maybe by Thursday, Friday, want to do it on one of those days?
Thursday afternoon would work for me,
Okay, what, like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock?
sure. Annie's got a broken foot, so I don't think she's gonna come.
Oh, no.
Annie, can you walk on your foot, Annie?
I can. I've been hobbling and using crutches.
And you know what, the way this looks, I haven't been out there myself, but it looks like if you park in the driveway, you might actually be able to see something. So
Okay,
might be worth it.
Yeah.
I do-
Let's go Thursday at 1 o'clock.
I'm in
One's fine.
school at that time.
Oh, boy,
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so am I.
So when are you done, Annie?
I could get there at 3.
At 3?
3
Yeah.
o'clock? 3 o'clock's fine.
3 works for me too.
3 o'clock.
Great.
How about
If
you
you-
guys?
If you can't make it, Bruce, that's fine. I can cover.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it, but what I was saying before is just that I did notice this area had already been cleared. I drove by the other day, a big tree was already taken down in this area. So I just want to point that out to you guys. So when you're out there, just take a look at that. It looks like, a lot of brush was removed. It didn't look like the topsoil was disturbed, but it did see like the applicant went along already clearing this area. So
Okay.
I just
So-
want to point that out.
So basically are you saying new clearing?
Yeah, like within the last week, yes. Yeah.
That's too bad. That's really too bad.
Hmm.
Who was responsible for that?
I'm not sure. I did contact, if you recall, Brad Warner. He's the contractor and kind of the applicant representative. I contacted him today. I didn't hear back from him, but yeah, I'm not sure. I did leave a message and told him, you don't have a permit for this, and to stop. I advised him of that. I told him I'd let the agency know tonight about that.
All right, we
Okay,
can look
what-
at that in the field.
3 o'clock on, what's that date? Is it the 3rd?
I think
Um,
it's 4. I think it's the 4th.
The
Fourth.
4th, I think.
It is the 4th. Yep.
So 3 at the 4th, on the
Yep.
4th. And what's
And
the,
what's
what's
the
the number of
address?
this? It's, what number? 595?
Yeah, and we'll
595.
send you a notice.
Perfect.
All right, very good. Do we want to try and classify this?
I'll make a motion to classify as minor.
Do we have a second
Second?
in there?
Yep, second.
I can't see
Sorry.
you guys, so,
Baptism by fire, Annie. There's not filling and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sure Deb probably went over with you the criteria for
Mhm.
minor versus major, all that kind of stuff. Oh, that was
Yep.
better. Yeah, so
Can I jump in here for a second?
Please.
Shouldn't have any other questions from me. Basically the contractor was handling everything, but as Bruce and I discussed, it would probably be better if I answered your questions rather than the contractor who didn't know much about the septic system. So if you have any other questions, probably now would be the time. I'm not sure whether I would be at the next meeting if there's additional questions or not, but
Well, you can stake out the system.
no, the system is not laid out yet, and mainly because I'm kind of surprised. I mean, either they're unaware or, really they shouldn't have cleared that area. And I talked to the contractor a couple of weeks ago or a week and a half ago when he said, talk to Bruce for me. He's kind of didn't understand the whole wetlands thing. And he knows, I said, you can't do anything without permits. So for now, until they give you the go-ahead, there's not much sense in doing anything. So I'm kind of surprised. I'm not sure if the shed's still there, Bruce, or that was taken down or.
I did not see the shed in that area. No.
Oh, so, I mean, even that, I told him anything within 100 feet, it doesn't matter. You have to ask first. But that was at the last discussion I had with him, and that about a week and a half ago. So either he had already done something or, whatnot. But like I said, from a system standpoint, I will say it's a minimal system. It is the depth into the ground is enough where you're basically just putting a couple probably 3-4 inches of fill and then the topsoil over that. So we were lucky to get where it wasn't a system we had to put at top of grade, and you were looking at something that went down gradient with 1.5 feet, 2 feet of fill and then dove off towards the wetlands. This should blend in, much better.
And you stake it out in the field if you're not going to be there, so we can see visually where it is.
I doubt I can do it by Thursday since I'm actually out of the state for the next 4 to 5 days. Depends on when I get back, if I have enough time to do that. Yeah, I mean, I can put it on here and tell him, hey, they're asking for this. And if I get back in time, I can easily put a couple stakes in. But I figured it was obvious where it was. It may still be obvious if you can see the area of where the shed remained, whether the platform is there or maybe a foundation of some sorts. You'd be able to tell exactly where it's at. Without that, you might need a stake at each end so you could line it up.
Well, I'm anticipating there's going to be some inches of snow that we gain earlier in the week, so it's going to make it harder to see.
Yeah, I didn't know it snowed until my son called me earlier. So I had no clue it even snowed. But yeah, I mean, if it's something that has to be done, I'll tell my client they want this done, and I'll see. It's a timing thing, because I return on Wednesday, so I have time to get it done. Before, I think you just mentioned Thursday you were doing a meeting.
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon.
Do you want to push back the site walk?
That's the whole thing.
Do you want to push back the site walk?
I mean, I can, literally, it would take me 15 minutes to put a couple stakes in. So it's not going to be something that's that difficult for me to, put a stake down there within a foot of where you're going to be. It's just a matter of what time I return on Wednesday. What time did you say you were going to do this on Thursday?
3 o'clock.
Yeah, that gives me, I can make it put it ahead of a couple things, I'm sure, type of thing, and get down there and put a couple stakes at the end. I doubt I can attend the meeting, but I can definitely put a couple end of trench stakes in for you so you can visually see it. Sure.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? All right. It's a minor.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Richard.
All right, our last item is the monitoring wells on 455 Pequannock Road. And we have
We have some folks from Woodard and Curran, and it looks like a representative from Electric Boat also here.
Yes, this is Mike Janito from Woodard and Curran.
Do you have the plan, or do you want me to share it, Mike?
If you could share it, again, it's a webinar. I don't know how I don't have any controls on my screen
Okay.
here.
Okay.
engineers don't like to be without control,
right?
right?
So just to refresh your memory, this is where the site is on Pequonic Road. This is the M lot. I don't know if you can see my cursor, the M lot, and then the site where the contaminants came from are across the street. And so I'm just gonna go down here and you tell me which one you want to work off of, Mike.
We can work off this aerial. I think it gives the best view rather than just a black and white line drawing. This is, as was said, we're looking to install a set of wells along the road, along Pequonic Road, one near the substation, one a little bit further to the northwest, near the former R&D property itself. These wells are to be installed as part of the ongoing investigation of the former R&D parcel under the Connecticut Voluntary Remediation Program, which is overseen by an LEP. The LEP of record for this property is Dan Wolfram. I submitted the application working with Dan on this project as the technical lead for the investigation itself. I am also an LEP, just for the record. So our plan is to install those wells in those locations. One will be a shallow water table well and a deeper bedrock well. There is a bedrock outcrop just across the street on the M-Lot side of the road there. There's also outcroppings throughout the western and southern ends of the M-Lot parcel. So what we're looking to do is continue to evaluate the impacts to groundwater, which is a freon plume, which we just want to track coming across the property to make sure we have final extents of this plume so we can further evaluate it under the VRP. The wells themselves will be installed utilizing a tracked drill rig, using either direct push system, which is just pushing hollow rods into the ground to allow for the installation. Potentially the deeper wells will be installed utilizing an auger or just a larger casing system that gets spun into the ground to allow the rig to achieve the depth that we need to achieve to hit the bedrock. Very minimal soil disturbance from the actual well installation activities themselves. No more than 8 inches in diameter of a hole would get installed, and that's the maximum diameter.
And you stage this from the road, Mike? Yeah.
We wouldn't, based on the power lines, so there is telephone poles and power lines that run along that southern side of Pequonic Road.
Yeah.
We would have, and then it drops off a couple feet right as you step off. I think there's maybe a 3 foot kind of a side there. So we'd have to get in either from the western side where it's a little flatter. There's a guardrail, but we can sneak in behind. Thank you for the cursor, and then just kind of track the rig down along the embankment to get to that location that the cursor is on.
And here, I would imagine.
The more eastern location near the substation, that is readily accessible
Right there.
from the entrance to the substation there. And it's a little more flat, but you still have to head down a little bit of an embankment. So the rig is no bigger than a truck, a standard, kind of pickup truck, as far as width and length. So, but we do have to make sure we're far enough away from the utility poles and the overhead power lines, so that we can install those wells.
Because I know we had a lot of water, a huge rain event, but there's a fair bit of flow right adjacent to the entrance to that parking lot when I was out there the other day. Like, I don't have a cursor here. Sorry.
Oh,
Here?
right here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's the brook. Birch Plain Creek, it's culverted underneath the MLOT, or I'm sorry, underneath the R&D parcel and the road, and then it does discharge right onto the MLOT.
Yep.
That creek is pretty much stays maintained within the creek, the creek bed walls. And so when I was out there a week and a half ago, it was not wet within, just off the road where our locations are. I did have staff on site all last week. We were actually sampling the existing wells, and he didn't note any standing water or anything within the wetland right off the roadway there. So
I'm gonna
Awesome.
run my cursor on the wetland flagging, Eunice, just so you
Yep.
can see it comes away from the road here.
Is it
Yeah.
that purple line, Deb? or
It
no?
is.
purple
It
line is
is.
the wetland flagging. Yes.
Yeah, so he's got some room to sneak in here.
Okay, so that's all I'm looking for is just, okay, so can
Yep.
the machine sneak
Yep.
in on the other side of that purple line?
Right.
Yes, it can sneak in pretty much directly across from the former R&D. You can see a curb cut there.
Yep.
There is no guardrail. He could sneak in there and then track his equipment down to that western location.
Okay. Well, I feel like it's super important to get these wells in place, obviously. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to understand how they're going to get that machine in there. That's all.
I think in the packet that I submitted, you can see the last page has a image of what the rig looks like if we go with this particular drilling contractor, but they all generally look the same. So
Is that it?
that's it right there.
All right.
Yep.
So you tow that in or back that baby in there with the truck?
Nope, that has its own mechanics. It has
Oh, wow.
it's a track system, so it'll actually track in itself.
wow.
And he'll tow it in on a flatbed, but we'll park in the MLOT and he'll offload it and he'll just walk it right to its location.
Wow. That's cool.
And then that the piece on the left of the photo is the actual that's the drill arm, and that's what kind of raises and lowers the tooling to advance the tooling to set the well. So
Super.
Other questions?
I'm ready to make a motion if I know you sent me one earlier, but I didn't.
And I'm gonna, hang on, I'm gonna call it up.
Thank you.
Let's see, there it is. There you go.
Eunice, you want to make the motion?
I sure do. I'll make a motion to approve the Inland Wetlands Agency 21-01 MLOT monitoring wells, 455 Pequonic Road, for the installation of monitoring wells in the upland review area. Motion to approve the MLOT monitoring wells application for the following reasons. There's no loss of wetland or watercourse associated with this application. The installation procedure will limit negative impact to the wetland. This permit is subject to the 4 standard conditions.
All right, we have a second.
A second.
All those in favor signify by
I love
saying
you,
aye.
Annie. Aye.
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 All right. Hard to do when you can't see you guys.
I know. I know, Dave. It's
I don't
the
know
funny
what
thing is we
happened.
can still see you though.
The picture's vanished. You can see me, that's all that matters. That's scary enough.
That's scary enough, I know, on Zoom. We're all going to need mental health after Zoom.
All right, I don't really have anything to add here today.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Have you have anything?
I do not. Do you have anything, Bruce?
No,
Uh-oh, Bruce froze.
He did. Look at that. I think he was saying no.
I froze for a minute there. Was it?
What did you say? What did you just say, Bruce? Because you froze.
Again.
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure he was saying he didn't have anything.
Okay.
All right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. the
Motion to
meeting.
adjourn.
So moved.
We have a second,
Second.
right? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Nobody else. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you. Have a good night.
Thank
see
you.
you.
See you next
Good night.
Wednesday.
Okay,
I mean,
bye-bye.
Thursday.
And you will get notice of it. That's
Okay.
right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thursday.
Dynamite.